This incredible video is sponsored by Squarespace. Get a kick-ass website today. Horror movies were always a good starting place for a young person with some talent to get into the movie-making business. A scary mask, a big knife, or some friends that could drag their feet and moan a lot. It also helped to have a bit of talent. Good, cheap fun.
Holy shit.
That's not the Hollywood way these days.
Rosie O'Donnell, tell him to get Rosie.
Too easy. Give him something hard.
Now we've got to waste $90 million on some stupid film. And that's how we end up with Army of the Dead. Now, even though I've seen enough Zack Snyder content to last me a lifetime, that never gets old. Sorry, fanboys. I was interested to see what Zack would do returning to the zombie genre. So much so that I watched it the day it came out. Then I decided to go on a 2-month bender, which made me think it was just boring and horrible.
I want to get to bed.
But when I rewatched it, the drinking didn't affect my recollection at all. It was boring and horrible, which was sad because his Dawn of the Dead remake was well made and a lot of fun to watch and one of the best starts to any zombie film. But even though Zack Snyder seems to get all the credit for Dawn of the Dead, it's the wonderful James Gunn script that really gives the film its edge and its humour.
It's going after the fucking dog.
Army of the Dead also begins with a fast-paced start that has all the subtlety and originality of, well, a modern Zack Snyder movie. And the great ideas start early, where we see a scene where the army just decided to drop in some food for the zombies. Not really sure what the army was trying to achieve by just dropping in those guys, but, you know, the ideas are sure to get better from here. Now, I have to say the idea of a zombie outbreak in Vegas during a casino heist is a great idea. Where zombie movies in the past have made a comment on human traits like consumerism or the simple routine of life, this film would allow for commenting on the excess and fakeness of people and how they behave when they're in Vegas. The mind just explodes with ideas. Ocean and his team trying to make it out alive. Newlywed couples trapped in rooms. The all-you-can-eat buffet where obese holiday makers are eating each other. Magicians killing their assistants and audience members. Buskers being thankfully killed. People dying stuck on the stratosphere rides. An Elvis wedding massacre. Showgirl deaths. Heaps of old slot jockey zombies not even noticing they're dead.
They have a lot of sluts in Las Vegas. There's so many sluts you won't know where to begin. Whoa.
The ideas are just endless.
They're zombie strippers.
And at the start of this film, you're under the impression that this could be a fun ride. But no, as soon as the title sequence, which obviously is in slow motion because it's a Zack Snyder film, as soon as those titles finish, you realize Zack has already shot his little load and we are now in for hours of boring, ugly shit. Just endless shots of tents, rubble, dark corridors, and one room that resembles a casino. And the cheapest looking vault room set you've ever seen. If you watch the behind the scenes footage and the trouble they apparently went to, you think this film would look amazing.
The icons make it through so that as you look at it, you know where you are. And it's a fine line between how much destruction and having enough remaining that it was, of course, still iconographic.
I'm sorry, but this ugly monotone gunk could be any post-apocalyptic junkyard anywhere in the world. I Am Legend made it pretty obvious which city you're in. I didn't need to keep seeing that Welcome to New York side, but except for, ironically, the Statue of Liberty shots, Army of the Dead's brown blast of diarrhea could be any city in the world. It completely loses the point of being in flashy Las Vegas. And they didn't just blow time and money on creating a city that looks like a dog's breakfast. They also spent a huge amount of time and millions of dollars creating the zombies.
So we came up with a system that we would keep the subject or the character stationary and we would spin around them.
Started looking at translucent shrimp, weird aquatic kind of things to get that look to the flesh.
And then a complete animatronic head.
Fuck him! It's the power of Christ that compels you.
American Werewolf in London came out all the way back in 1983, and the makeup still makes the skin crawl. But I'm guessing torn clothes and some makeup isn't going to keep funding all these people's lifestyles. They've got cocaine to buy. Let's see what all their time and effort achieved. Oh, Christ. A scene that has the same clarity and colour grading as a pile of vomit. Digital zombies repeated, and all conveniently looking down. Not one face to be seen. This in a time when the Mandalorian is fighting sandworms and dragons are main characters. And where are all the fat and old zombies? All the ones we end up seeing seem to be in their mid-20s, athletic, and have done 3 years at the Juilliard School of Dance. I'm pretty sure they've come straight over from the Cats soundstage.
That's crossing the line.
One of the great things about the zombie monster is that we can still recognise the human in them. We can easily relate. Train to Busan gets a ride with the performers acting like just broken people. The only thing I Am Legend got wrong was going digital and overpowering the sick and giving them weird stretchable heads. Zack Snyder wants us to be frightened by performance art zombies. And when they're not dancing and prancing around, they are parkouring around. Because, you know, parkour's that fresh new thing.
Some of the greatest parkour cats.
Parkour! Parkour! Extreme! Parkour! Parkour!
This is Parkour, internet sensation of 2004, and it was in one of the Bond films.
Okay, yeah! Parkour!
Seems a lot of the things that Zack Snyder thinks are cool are from the early 2000s. Speaking of which, there is one very contemporary gag, I suppose you'd call it a gag, to remind you that you're in Las Vegas, the city of magic, a Siegfried and Roy tiger.
She was one of Siegfried and Roy's.
Hey fellow students, remember Siegfried and Roy? And this must be the oldest tiger in existence, seeing as Siegfried and Roy haven't performed in Vegas since 2003. And I'm not going to say this is distasteful, but I wonder if this reminded Roy's family about the time one of his white tigers attacked him on stage, nearly killing him and ending his career. It just seems a little distasteful.
The accident impaired Roy's ability to speak and walk, and he's never regained full use of his left side.
I died 3 times on the operation table.
Another thing that's usually frightening about zombies is the fact that they can turn any one of us at any time, which can lead to some great, wonderful, tense moments in films.
Wait.
It's been a funny sort of day, hasn't it?
Oh no, 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 come on, come on.
It was even done well in another Zack Snyder film. But we only see that once in Army of the Dead, in a completely unthreatening, no-tension scene. But that makes sense because these aren't zombies anyway.
That's right, motherfucker!
They're just random monsters that could be from Middle-earth or outer space. The lead zombie's more like Frankenstein, because Zack thought that they should evolve back to be more human-like so they can communicate, have sex, and wear capes apparently.
What we did in our movie, there's another evolution that happened with zombies where this idea of what we would become if the zombie plague made us stronger as opposed to decomposing.
I've never seen a movie that goes into the essence of zombies in this way.
Zack did a great job in a way to give zombies more human behavior back with Zeus and the Queen because they just want to survive. That's crazy, yeah. New species, oh my God.
What are you talking about? We've seen this multiple times and done much better.
Barbarians. Barbarians. You call us barbarian. Well, it is an honorable name.
And no, I'm not suggesting every idea has to be wholly original, even though the cast and crew would like to pretend Zack's ideas are original, but at least have an original take on that idea and not be just some watered down lazy copy.
Okay, let's go get it.
Now, to have a bit of relief about talking about just total trash, let's talk about something that's fantastic. Squarespace, the #1 website builder for professionals and creatives. Whether you're a business owner, YouTuber, podcaster, photographer, filmmaker, musician, clothes designer, or you just want to share your cool collection, you need to have a home. You need a website. And with Squarespace, you can have a killer professionally designed website that you can easily manage and edit yourself. And that will save you a fortune. Start by choosing one of their amazing templates. Then bring it to life with photo galleries, portfolios, and even video backgrounds to show off everything you do. And with the new members area, you can also monetize your own content right on your own website. And no one can stop you. Bring in the cash, baby. Squarespace also provides marketing tools to help you grow your social media presence, which means you're going to have to get used to all that lovely extra attention. Go to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and when you are ready to take off, go to squarespace.com/robothead and you will receive a full 10% off your first purchase. See the link below. Don't put it off any longer. Go visit Squarespace today. And what is becoming almost a standard in Hollywood, the rules of the movie are never consistent. 1 minute when someone's bitten, they turn within minutes. Then someone will be bitten and they won't turn for hours, if not days.
Fuck.
1 minute they'll kill anyone on sight. Next minute they'll give them free passage, which doesn't mean anything.
If we want to go further, we have to make a trade.
Maybe tell them you were double-crossed. Just a thought. And then for some reason, they'll just keep these three in a room, and we don't know why. And sometimes in what is a shameless rip-off of I Am Legend, they hibernate for no reason.
Don't shine the light in their eyes. I've seen this before, they're hibernating.
Where in I Am Legend, the idea of them hibernating made perfect sense because the monsters in that film are meant to be more like vampires who can only come out at night and hibernate all day long. That is the whole idea behind the original book. Plus, Will Smith has to go in to rescue his only companion, his last link to his family. In Army of the Dead, it's just a random corridor in a huge building on the way to the vault. They could have just gone another way through a different building, where in one film he's forced into a situation for a very good reason that makes the scene incredibly tense. In this film, they go into the corridor so Zack could do a terrible copy of I Am Legend. The cast themselves aren't bad. I think we're pushing the envelope by trying to make this big dude a lead actor.
I have to find her.
Well, tell us what she looks like. We'll look out for her, yeah?
Hey, moron. She doesn't look like a zombie. No, the main problem with this cast of characters is that what Zack Snyder thinks makes someone cool or tough actually makes them annoying. You just hope by the end that they all die horrible deaths.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, rolling your eyes about the guy that's worried about dying and his own safety. He's the guy we relate to.
How precisely do we do the zombie killing?
We're definitely not getting any father-daughter survival story here. No ordinary people doing the right thing. Just Zack's version of what's tough. And one is so tough, he brings the most useless weapon you could possibly think of to take out an enemy whose brain needs to be destroyed. A petrol concrete cutter that is slow, needs refilling, and seems even too heavy for him to lift up above his head. Don't worry about carrying all that fuel for the helicopter. This guy's going to need it for his concrete cutter. And after such a cool introduction, the only time we see it in action is when it gets used as a concrete cutter. So we have casino owner Bly Tanaka hiring this band of mercenaries to recover $200 million from his own casino. Hang on, his own casino? What type of heist movie is this? Why do they even have to break in? It's his casino. His right-hand man says he's coming along because he knows so much about the casino.
I'll also be accompanying you on this job because of my extensive knowledge of the casino.
Why don't they just give him the codes and tell him how to turn off the booby traps? But no, for some reason, and that reason being that Zack Snyder's a terrible filmmaker, he doesn't tell them how to get into the safe, and they nearly die in the process, like the other group that Bly Tanaka apparently sent. Why didn't he give that team the codes? Why not tell them about the poison darts? Yes, for some reason, this modern bank vault has booby traps straight out of Indiana Jones. I bet the building contractors who built the casino were quite surprised when they were asked to install poison darts to fly out. I also wouldn't want to be the new casino employee who goes down and puts the wrong PIN number in by accident. Seems a bit harsh to be crushed on your first day of work. An integral part of the heist film is to come up with an interesting way to get into the safe. Some interesting idea that maybe we haven't seen before. But Zack doesn't worry about those sort of details. He's going to use an idea we haven't seen since Get Smart. The old ear against the safe plan. It's quite amazing. Fucking Price is Right showed more creativity in how to get into a safe.
You've had more trouble with that door lately, you poor little baby, and now let me help you.
You see, Bly Tanaka probably didn't give them the codes for the vault because apparently it was never about the money. It was all about collecting a zombie head to build an army for the government.
You know how much a whole head of one of these things is worth? To my boss, to the government? Power to control your own zombie army.
But the government already had the army working on that plan. We saw it at the start of the film.
when the zombie escaped from the truck.
And couldn't they have just grabbed a zombie at any time themselves?
Why'd they have to hire this guy to casino owner to hire mercenaries to get a team to go in to get a zombie?
Shut up!
These guys are mercenaries. They'll do any job for money. Just pay them to go get the head and get out of there. Why even send in all those people to do something that will waste time and risk you not getting your precious head before the atom bomb goes off? Yes, that's right. They're going to nuke Vegas. And apparently the fallout's not going to spread anywhere outside the Vegas zone. And when we do see that head getting cut off, it's done right near the gate where they came in. So they literally could have just come in, got the head, and gone again. Maybe his Bly Tanaka had already tried this scheme once before and had killed a team, and he was on limited time because the city was about to be nuked. Maybe he should have just dropped this whole breaking into the safe plan and just gone with the we'll pay you to get the head plan. You know, it slightly feels like Zack was making this up as he went along. It is hard to believe that there's 3 writers listed on this script.
When Zack did his version of Dawn of the Dead, it reinvigorated the zombie genre.
That would be true, you Hollywood lying bitch, if it wasn't for 28 Days Later, a film that actually changed how we saw zombie films. That happened to come out 2 years before Zack's film.
I love you very much.
What?
Keep away from me.
You would also have to forget about Shaun of the Dead, that happened to come out the same month as Zack's film and has had a way bigger influence on movies and pop culture. Ain't too many people still quoting the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Cornetto.
Photographically, it's been a really fun experiment. I was a director cameraman, in the commercial world.
By the time I got to make a giant superhero movie, I don't even know where the cameras are. They're over there somewhere. I just want to go film it myself. I know how to do it. Why wouldn't I do that?
Choosing how much of a scene is in focus is basic cinematography, and like any shooting choice, whether it be depth of field, lighting, blocking, it should be used creatively to enhance a shot, not distract from the shot and make it unwatchable.
Canon Dream lenses that I got off of eBay. It was made, I believe, in the 1960s by a Japanese lens maker. Part of the thing I love about them is there's a lot of flaws. The bokeh and the whole look is so outrageous and crazy that I just had to make a movie that way.
What Zack fails to mention is that except for a 4-minute short in 2017, he has never been a cinematographer on any film before Army of the Dead. This is his first theatrical job as a cinematographer. And what he fails to understand is a basic camera setting or a characteristic of a certain camera lens doesn't equal talent. It's like the toy camera craze that peaked in 2012. Everyone buying up the old toy film cameras that had all the same qualities that Zack is so excited about. Everyone felt like an instant artist.
It's been an incredibly artistically satisfying experience.
But Zack is now a veteran in the field. His student-like excitement for simple camera skills and effects overrides any ambition to come up with a bloody good story or script.
My name is Zack Snyder. I am the director of this film. I co-wrote it. I am the producer, and I am the director of photography.
Maybe don't be writer, director, cinematographer, because in this film you failed all 3 of those jobs.
I live my life in full order.
They say talent speaks for itself, so when you are like Zack, who is floating around the shallow end of the talent pool, you have to be willing to do what others won't. You have to be able to just tell everyone how you raised to the challenge and did an amazing job.
Have risen to the challenge and done an amazing job. The movie's way more in focus than I thought it would be.
The amount of time and effort they supposedly put into making this artificial Vegas and scanning every zombie, the 90 million they needed for capture suits and sets, a film that spends half its time standing in corridors or outside, and for all that to end up looking like this. Surely the dream of streaming services delivering quality content to our homes isn't over already. They couldn't possibly think it's a good plan to keep funding creatively bankrupt crap like this.
I pitched them a crazy idea about zombies and Vegas. My partners at Netflix were like, this sounds amazing, go do it.
That's it, I'm out.